From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie watchman. And TLAW today, Reggie Dabs banned. Plastered across Aussie newspapers comes this unbelievable headline. Preacher's dab hand angers secular state schools parents. One or two, possibly blanded, parents upset over Reggie Dabs' motivational speaking because, wait for it, he is a Christian pastor from the US. Whoa, heaven forbid. When did a minority of the population take over the state school system? Most Australians believe in God, so how did the atheist religion take over the learning institutions of the country? When did the schools become the sole preaching apparatus of atheists? When did their church invade the spaces of precious children who are indoctrinated against a belief in God and into one that preaches there is no reason for your life and no absolute standard for moral behaviour? When did the elite of our country forget about the foundation of our justice system, which is essentially the moral law borrowed from Judeo-Christian heritage? When did they forget about the foundation of individual liberty, which is also borrowed from the Judeo-Christian belief that every person is special in the eyes of God? When did they forget that the sole reason for the success of Western culture was not because of our race, but because of our ancestors' steadfast belief in a personal God who demands personal accountability? A God whose love for his creation led him to send his Son to die for us on the cross. A God who demands we love our enemies and our neighbours as we love ourselves. This is the foundation for all that which is good in our culture. Yet the atheist religion seems to destroy the last vestiges of its influence upon our impressionable children. It is time to call it as it is. The schools are not fair and unbiased. They are controlled by an atheistic minority who use terms such as intolerance, subversion, trickery, racism, bigotry to label any Christian who stands up to the intellectual abuse that they have wrought upon our children. They are the bigots, and they use subversion and intolerance. How dare they accuse us of sedition when they seek to destroy our Christian heritage? It is they who chip away at the foundations of our nation in order to mould it into their own image, a secular image, where indeed there is no reason for living, there is no purpose, and there is no hope, other than to procreate and pass your genes on to the next generation. This is a belief that is responsible for the rising me culture of the West, a hedonism that is unchecked by the reality of a God of justice and love. It is time we kicked all the atheist preachers out of our school system. They have had the reins for way too long. Alas, however, it seems like a pie-in-the-sky idea, because our government is in the last stages of removing any Christian religious instruction from our schools. The great moral abyss lies ahead, a time of pain and suffering for our children who will suffer through a post-Christian world which will no longer respect human life. Just read about communist China or Russia to see what the outcome will be. Christian instruction is one of the first things to go.